This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Being a Republican means suspending reality. It means defending the indefensible. Maybe I should have said being a white Republican means these things, but it certainly means that being a Republican of color. Being someone like Nikki Haley, in order to appeal to the base within the party that is the most effective and largest white supremacy organization on the planet, in order to appeal to the largely white Republican base, you have to deny the history of this country. You have to engage in this game where you're not honest. You're not dealing with reality on reality's terms. And Nikki Haley yesterday made a comment about, talking to beady-eyed Brian Kilmeade on Fox News, that the United States of America has never been a racist country. It's not that she said it isn't currently a racist country, that we're a post-racial America. That's not what she said. She said America has never been a racist country. And then I'm going to play the clip, and you'll get to witness it for yourself in all of its glory. And then catch the moment that she proceeds to say that she's faced racism, though. I grew up facing racism in this never been racist country. Watch this.
Are you a racist party? Are you involved in a racist party?
No. We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country. Our goal is to make sure that today is better than yesterday. Are we perfect? No. But our goal is to always make sure we try and be more perfect every day that we can. I know I faced racism when I was growing up, but I can tell you today is a lot better than it was then. Our goal is to lift up everybody, not go and divide people on race or gender or party or anything else. We've had enough of that in America. That's why I'm so passionate about doing this. I don't want my kids growing up where they're sitting there thinking that they're disadvantaged because of a color or a gender. I want them to know that if they work hard, they can do and be anything they want to be in America.
Yeah. It was not just her. I mean, obviously, this is a common trope. This is something that in order to either appeal to the base or just deny the reality of what our country's history is, they do this. And another South Carolina Republican, Ralph Norman, was asked about this on CNN, and he doubled down. He not only did he agree that Nikki Haley's exactly right on that, is what the quote was, he gives a lot of backing, a lot of quoting of sources. And you'll never believe the thing that he quotes. Watch Ralph Norman, apparently a Nikki Haley supporter.
Joining us now, Congressman Ralph Northam of South Carolina. He has endorsed Nikki Haley for president. Congressman, thank you so much for being here this evening. Of course, this particular statement that has been made is catching a lot of attention. There's been a number of comments made about race and history for the former governor of South Carolina. Here it comes again. Do you believe that the U.S. has never been a racist country?
First of all, it's Norman, Ralph Norman. Northam is, I think he's in Virginia.
My diction may have been off. My father's name is Norman. I'm sure I said it right, but maybe it didn't translate there, but I certainly know your name. But go ahead and answer my question. Thank you so much.
Well, no, Laura, Nikki is exactly right. Look, in the Declaration of Independence, the preamble, which said, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The Civil War was fought 74 years after the Constitution was ratified in 1787. So there was a faction of southern states that had slaves, but the country as a whole has never been a racism or never had, had certain parts of it, but the Civil War was fought because the Southerners had slaves, and Abraham Lincoln, as a country, wanted to hold it together based on the Declaration of Independence. So she is exactly right on that.
So let's break down two or three sections of that particular quote from Ralph Norman, apparently a vaunted, respected historian of these United States and our history. Nikki is exactly right, he says. Look, in the Declaration of Independence, the preamble, what? There's no preamble to the Declaration of Independence, Ralph. I think you're referring to the Constitution of the United States. You know, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice. That's the preamble. You're talking about the Declaration of Independence. Before we question who wrote it, let's break down that first sentence. That we hold these truths to be self-evident. That all men were created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, among those life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yeah, sounds pretty good, right? Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? It couldn't have been Thomas Jefferson, could it have? Hey Siri, how many slaves did Thomas Jefferson own?
Over the course of his life, he owned some 600 slaves, buying and selling them as required, maintaining about 130 at any one time.
So
This is from fandom.com.
Yeah. The author of our Declaration of Independence didn't really believe in the prospect of equality, of the self-evident nature of us being endowed by our creators as being created equal. This is the thing that Republicans and racists all across the country have a very difficult time grappling with, is the actual nuance and differences of what their particular view of history is versus what it actually is. Thomas Jefferson raped his slaves, at least Sally Hemings. And many of you, even Democrats out there, will say, no, that was a committed, a dedicated relationship, it was consensual. If you are in bondage, if you are a slave, you are an enslaved human being, you don't have a choice. You do what you're told. The other part of it that's interesting is the Civil War was fought 74 years after the Constitution was ratified in 1787. What is it that we fought the Civil War over? If only someone, Ralph Norman, had an answer for this. If only. And at the time the Constitution was ratified, this non-racist nation allowed slavery. In fact, only white men could vote in America. This non-racist country from the very beginning, never been racist. And what about after slavery? Let's talk about after slavery. You had convict leasing, where black prisoners were leased to former enslavers to do their work so they could earn money to pass on to their descendants and make them rich too. While black people were held down, oppressed in a systemic manner, not being able to build wealth. You had Jim Crow, where black people couldn't occupy the same spaces as white people, whether that be a bathroom or an elevator, a drinking fountain, a restaurant counter. Apparently it wasn't racist then either, right, Ralph Norman? Look, it must be a difficult prospect to be a Republican. It must be an emotionally taxing, cognitively taxing proposition because of the fact that you have to deny reality itself. This isn't to say that I don't love my country, to acknowledge its past, its horrific past. I love the country. That's why I want to make it better. I want to fundamentally change, structurally change our nation to make it better. But if you're a Republican, You can't handle it. Oh, no, it has to have been beautiful and awesome all the time. Stupid. Do you want a Nikki Haley who cannot deal with reality on reality's terms? I think not. We certainly don't want the alternative, which is Donald Trump. We got a choice to make coming up here in just a few months. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. If you appreciate what I do and you want to help support this work, you want to help produce these videos, click the join button below. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member. You can hit the super thanks button. You can go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. All of these are absolutely fantastic ways to help support, in a big way, what we do here. Follow me on social media. I'd love to see you there. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter and Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, everything. I'm on all of them, at Dollemore, and that's where you can find me. I'll see you next time. Be genuine, deal with reality on reality's terms, and take care of one another.